Assalamualaikum students. I welcome you all once again. I'm back with another lecture. Hope you people are doing good at your respective homes by the grace of Almighty Allah, by the benevolence of Almighty Allah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala embellish you with the sound of laughter and the sparkles of joy here and hereafter. And may this Mahi Ramzanul Mubarak brings peace, prosperity, and rejoice in our lives. As far as this Buckminster Fullarene is concerned, this Buckminster Fullarene is actually the allotrope of a carbon containing clusters of 60 carbon atoms joined together to form spherical molecules. I told you people that this Buckminster Fullarene is also called as C60. C60 because its molecular formula is C60. That means 60 carbon atoms have been joined together in a regular fashion. I can say to give this Buckminster Fullarene definite structure. So Buckminster Fullarene its shape resembles with soccer ball. That's why its structure resembles with soccer ball. That's why this Buckminster is also called as soccer ball, also called as Bucky balls. In which Buckminster Fullarene, in which the carbon atoms are joined in interlocking hexagonal and pentagonal rings of carbon atoms, classified into one of the important class of compounds, that's fullerenes. Now the question arises here, what actually these fullerenes are. And I told you people in the last video lecture that these fullerenes are large carbon cage molecules. Same is the case with this. You could see the image of this Buckminster Fullarene. It's a cage-like structure, spherical molecule. Since there are 60 carbon atoms in a molecule of a Buckminster Fullarene, so that's why I told you people that this Buckminster Fullarene is also called as C60. C60 means 60 carbon atoms have been joined together to form this spherical molecule of this Buckminster Fullarene. And one more thing I would like to add here, that this Buckminster Fullarene is a football-shaped spherical molecule in which 60 carbon atoms are joined in interlocking hexagonal and pentagonal rings of carbon atoms. I told you people in the last lecture that almost 20 hexagons and 12 pentagons of carbon atoms in one molecule of a Buckminster Fullarene. And regarding the structure of the Buckminster Fullarene, I told you one more point there, that this Buckminster Fullarene is also called as Bucky balls. And this allotrope is named after American architect Buckminster Fullarene because its structure resembled the framework of the dome-shaped halls designed by the Buckminster Fullarene for large international exhibitions. So the arrangement of the carbon atoms in Buckminster Fullarene resembles a football made up of 20 hexagonal and 12 pentagonal panels, and each corner of each panel representing a carbon atoms. These are actually the carbon atoms joined together in a regular fashion. These are actually the carbon atoms. Regarding this Buckminster Fullarene, I told you people that this Buckminster Fullarene is a dark solid at room temperature, and it differs from the two allotropes of the carbon, diamond and graphite. In fact that diamond and graphite are joint molecules which consists of unending network of, I can say, the carbon atoms, but this Buckminster Fullarene is a very small molecule made up of only 60 carbon atoms. So this was actually the recapitulation of the last video lecture which I discussed with you people. Let's move forward. Let's take one more subtopic that's very important. That's hydrocarbons. Let's discuss hydrocarbons. So as far as these hydrocarbons are concerned, this is a very important topic as far as this carbon and its compound is concerned, and as far as organic chemistry is concerned. Hydrocarbons are actually the compounds which are formed by the combination of hydrogen and carbon. So somebody will pose your question, what actually these hydrocarbons are. And actually the hydro means hydrogen, carbo means carbon. That's why after the name hydrocarbons. Now the question arises, what actually these hydrocarbons are. These are actually the compounds made up of hydrogen and carbon only. So hydrocarbons are the compounds which are formed only by hydrogen and carbon atoms, called as hydrocarbons. The simplest hydrocarbon is methane. Methane, its molecular formula is CH4. That is C and H. One is carbon, another is hydrogen. It's a combination of carbon and hydrogen. That's why this methane have been included in hydrocarbons. We have so many examples of these hydrocarbons. Let's take some examples. This is ethane. Formula C2H6, that is carbon in combination with hydrogen. 2 carbon atoms joined with 6 hydrogen atoms. That is why this ethane is also a hydrocarbon. Let me quote more examples. That's ethene, C2H4, ethine, C2H2. They all are actually the hydrocarbons because they are made up of only 2 elements, and one element is carbon and another is hydrogen. So these hydrocarbons are actually the compounds made up of hydrogen and carbon only. And the most important natural source of hydrocarbons is petroleum. Petroleum contains octane units, that is C8H8. This petroleum contains octane units. Octane means 8 carbon atoms. Octa means 8. So as far as this petroleum is concerned, the main, I can say the most important natural resource of hydrocarbons is petroleum containing octane units, that is C8H8, that is carbon element in combination with hydrogen. That's why I told you people that the hydrocarbons are formed by the combination of hydrogen and carbon elements only. So which is actually the most important natural source of hydrocarbon is petroleum, which is obtained from underground oil deposits by drilling oil wells. So that's why I can say we actually dig this oil from wells that is in the crude form. After that we are doing the fractional distillation, by which I can say draw the impurities out from that crude oil, and then we use I can say the most purified oil after that. So which is another I can say the main source of this hydrocarbon is a natural gas, and this methane is also called as a natural gas, Ng, because natural gas contains 99% methane, that's marsh gas. So hydrocarbons are actually the compounds made up of hydrogen and carbon only. So somebody will pose you a question that what actually these hydrocarbons are. These hydrocarbons are the compounds containing hydrogen and carbon. So this was actually the introductory lecture regarding these hydrocarbons. Now we have the types of the hydrocarbons. We have actually the types of the hydrocarbons. One is saturated hydrocarbons and another is unsaturated hydrocarbons. In next lecture we are going to discuss saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Till then, stay safe, stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.